Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 3rd of May, and I want to talk about spiritual warfare. And I want to show you the spiritual war that we're actually in, that we are experiencing at this moment as a reality. And really, to show what it is we're in and what it is we're doing. Because at the moment I'm despairing again. I've been listening to John St. Julian. Yeah? And it's like 5-year-olds have been given instructions how to drive a bulldozer. Yeah? They've been given the instructions and they've been given the key. And they're full of themselves that they can drive the bulldozer. And they have absolutely no understanding of how absolutely destructive it is that what they're doing. Yeah, they have no idea of good and bad, which a 5-year-old wouldn't have. That's why you shouldn't drive a bulldozer. The spiritual warfare, the spiritual reality of what is happening right now, what it is we are doing. Now, the key, the instructions to the bulldozer that these people are being given is the knowledge of how to create a state of expanded awareness. Yeah? That is the spiritual works. And they've been given the knowledge and they don't know what they're doing. And they don't know what they're in. They do not see the bigger picture at all. All they see is that they can do it. Now, expanded awareness. If you go to the point where you see, let's say you see the light and you feel the energy. That has been described by many. There you know the source. The source is energy, the source is light. You know one aspect of the Creator. The energy out of which everything is created. That does not mean you know the Creator. You only know Him on the level of energy and vibration. That's it. But you do not know what is being created out of that. All of creation, all of solid creation that comes out of that. So basically you don't know Him at all at that point. That is not knowing. That state is a state of not knowing. So in His creation, you cannot know all. Because we are only parts. Every one of us is only a part. And if a part were to elevate itself to becoming all, it will be destroyed. Not because the Creator is mean, but it is impossible for the part to do that. So if you have to do away with self, with everything that you are, in order to reach that state, then you cannot say, I will know the Creator, because you are the thing that is destroyed in order to get there. You will not know. You will no longer exist. It is the destruction of self. So self cannot know. That is why that state is a state of not knowing. That is why the Creator cannot be known in that way. To say, I will know the Creator, no. But if you're here, you are I am. You are the part. That is what we are. We are the created part. And we know according to ourselves. And that is part of the Creator. It's not detached from the Creator. It's not outside of the Creator. It is the Creator in its parts. So now, spiritual warfare. And it is that way of losing yourself. Being shown how to lose yourself. That is what they've been shown. The way. The way of Jesus. The way of denial of self. So it says in the Bible, when God calls you, he will take you away from your family, your friends, take you into the wilderness. Yeah? Now, again, it is a spiritual occurrence or it is a physical occurrence. It is both. There is no separation. You do something in the physical. Yeah? And the spiritual is happening at the same time. You just probably know the physical better than the spiritual, more aware of it. But the spiritual is there and it is happening. So one way is obviously people are being taken, in a very extreme case, into a cave. Yeah, sit in a cave for decades, eating dandelion or something, completely disconnected from everything around you, where you lose yourself and you go into expanded awareness because the self is no longer there. But it is happening in this world at the moment through the destruction of our structures. And that is not talking about physical structures. Through the destruction of family, friendship groups, stuff like that. We are being disconnected from each other. We are being disconnected from each other. But also on a spiritual level, we're losing the energetic connection to one another. The love of a mother for her child, the love of a wife for her husband, the love we have for friends. The structure of humanity, human to human, the energy structure, the web of life, the energetic web that we're in, by which we know ourselves, by which we know and we are being known. This is how we know ourselves, as a part of the Creator that is called humanity. That is not just physical, that is energy. That is an energetic web that we are in, by which we know ourselves as humanity. And that is the connection between each other and then the greater kingdom without. That is all the energy that comes from nature that is affecting us, by which again we know ourselves in that web. Whether we we are that, whether we are aware of that or not is a different question, but we are that. That is our reality. That is what is creating our reality. Everything around us is consciousness. If it has got life, it gives out energy. Mineral, vegetative, animal, man. We are in an energetic web by which we know ourselves. And if God calls you, he takes you out of that web. Right now, the web is being destroyed. Because the energies have to be worked. Yeah, have to be constantly worked, have to be constantly flowing. That is work. We need to do it. We need to work those connections. We need to give and receive on those connections for those energies to flow. And if we stop doing that, we will get disconnected. So that's what's happening. We are being disconnected. And if you listen to the likes of the Johns and Julianne, he says, you should do that yourself. You should work on that. You should hate. Jesus says you should hate your mother and father and everything else around you. So follow Jesus. Hate everything around you and disconnect yourself. Do the works yourself to get into an expanded state of awareness. And here is the way of the butterfly. That is the way of the butterfly. You cocoon yourself from everything else around you and you will turn to mush. you will turn to mush. You will no longer know yourself. So you are in mush, in the cocoon, in order to be reborn into another being. Yeah? We are not leaving reality. None of this is outside of reality. Energy and vibration is something that you can measure, something that exists, that you can see the outcome of, you can feel it at times, so it is still within the realm of the created. We're not leaving the realm of the created at all. We're still in creation. So we've turned into mush in creation. If you, again, yourself is gone inside of that cocoon. So if yourself is gone, you have no more self-determination. You cannot rebuild yourself because you've lost the plot. You're completely gone. Then what is rebuilding you when you are in that state? And that is when they will come to tell you what you are and what it is you are in. And that will create your perception, that will create yourself, and will create your reality. That is the way of denial of self, and it is evil. That is something creating up, destroying us, destroying our I am, destroying humanity, which is being inside of the web of life here. They're destroying your knowledge of all of that in order to rebuild you, to assimilate you into becoming them. You will be reborn in the image of another God, of another being that will create order again out of the mush that you have become. But it will create its order, its knowing, how it sees you, how it sees reality, no longer seeing it out of our humanity, but being reborn into another being. And this is the destruction of reality, of humanity on a spiritual level, by using the knowledge of spirituality, by using the knowledge of the level of energy and vibration which is still in the created. Those are beings. Yeah? They are no different from us. They are living on the same level as us. They are existing on the same level as us. They are parts of the Creator as we are. They have learned how this works above the level of the physical. And again, they are using that knowledge in order to conquer. See the fruits of the Spirit in the book of the Revelation. When we have turned to mush, we are no longer holding on to one another. We are no longer energetically connected to one another. We are no longer connected in the love that we have to one another. We will stand up for one another in love. We are disconnected from that love and we will be conquered. Yeah? That's spiritual warfare. And that is real. That is not out there somewhere in fairyland. That is a reality. A reality that we need to become aware of. That we must have an expanded awareness of ourselves, to know ourselves on the level of energy vibration, to see what is happening to us. Yeah, and this is not going to be an evolution, because we will not go to a higher place. Yeah, we will not come out of that cocoon and an elevated state of being. Because those that do that, and again, look at the book of the Revelation, death and destruction, they will pour out plagues. They are witnesses that are already here, that are already gone. Those are human beings that are already gone. They've lost their humanity. They've gone through the process, through the cocooning and the going into mush, and they've been rebuilt in the spirit. They may look human, but spiritually they're not. So they are doing this. They are pouring out the plagues. They are shutting off the heavens. Look at what's going on in this world, in the solid reality. It's creating a solid reality. They are doing that. They're creating weather events. They're shutting off the rain to create famine. And I tell you something, anything that is using its knowledge to do these things, such a being is not on a higher level of spirituality, on a higher level of consciousness. They are not on a higher level of consciousness. Those are their fruits, and those fruits are not born from a higher level of consciousness. That is the spiritual war we're in. It's real. Energy and vibration are part of the reality of this world, and we are being attacked on that level. And people are sitting there spaced out talking about the love of the Creator. You've gone out too far. Far too far. Too far out. You got lost in all. You've been taught the way to get there. Oh, the Bible is full of the way to show you the way to expanded awareness. Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. It's in the text. But then to say it's not physical, no, it will create something physical, because that's what the spiritual does. It creates physical realities, and they are not, again, separated from each other. One is the cause, the other is the effect. And it will happen. There is no separation between them. So to say, well, this is spiritual, it's not physical. No, it is. It is physical. Even the energy and vibration level is something that physically exists. Just because you cannot see it. There's lots of things that physically exist that you cannot see. But you know them. You cannot see the wind. But it is a physical reality. You can see what it's doing. You can feel it. But it's still part of physical reality. So is energy and vibration. It is in the physical, and it will create a even more physical outcome. So, for us to remain human, we are a part of the Creator. Yeah, and those beings are there, as I say, know them by their fruit. They are not on a higher level of consciousness. And you see what they're doing. Yeah, but they are part of Creator. And no part has got the right to do this to another part. They are not higher, they are not anything. And here comes the last thing, that's what I talked about in my last video, the 10 Commandments. The law of this world. The law for those that have their being in this reality. Yeah, you shall not lie, you shall not steal, you shall not kill. And that law is binding for both those that are in this world and those that will come into this world. That is the law. Again, look at the book of the Revelation. They are breaking the law. Yahweh, when he led the Israelites, he broke the law. Those may be beings that did not originate here, but they came here, they lived here, they were under the law and they broke it. This world is our mother, father. This world has got its laws. And if we are human beings in this world, we should know ourselves, we should know each other, we should know nature. The expansion into the knowledge of all of this on a spiritual level, that would be a true expansion of our humanity, where we grow stronger in being human. And it is love. Growing in our strength, growing in love. And know the law. And anything that comes here has to abide by the law of our mother, father. And we stand up for this place and we stand up for ourselves. Instead of denying ourselves, saying how glorious it would be that we disintegrate to be reborn into another species, because humanity must be destroyed. And why? Because it is the will of God. It is the will of God that we should hate each other, and He is so much greater. Stop following Jesus to the cross. That is pure evil. Stop doing it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love each other. Hold on to each other. Stand up for our rights to be. We are the experience that is human, and we have a right to be that. Now, obviously, the way of expanded awareness exists, where we need to learn to use that, if we want to use that. It is good for healing and other things. It will serve us. But we can only use it correctly if we can expand whilst holding on to our own truth. If we lose our truth in that state, we will be conquered. Use expanded awareness, yes, but be anchored in what it is you are and what it is you're in. This is the solid foundation. This is the rock of I am on which we should be standing. We are human. There's nothing out there that is greater than us. It may be different. It will be different. But different does not mean greater. It just means what it is. Different. And they do not have more rights than we have. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today. Let's fight this spiritual war, and let's be human in it. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.